Hey everyone, Richard here at Calvin Wazoo with another video. And this one is, something I've been preparing for, thinking about. It's kind of a crazy idea. And the idea came from watching, some other videos. There was a thread, that was going around, people showing the 10 albums they listened to the most, which spawned some parody type responses. I only need one album of this band or something, something like that. The idea though for this concept that I'm doing with these videos came originally from Kyle Reed Music, his channel, Kyle Reed Music. He did two videos where he split his list of the 50 best or top albums in his opinion, and then, did 25 for one video, 25 for another. So something that I have been thinking about is, maybe in the next year or two, I may need to move. And I have right now 1,500 albums, which is, compared to, I would say the average for the vinyl community is actually below average. I know plenty of people who have many more records than I do. But the idea is, all right, if I needed to dispose of my collection for whatever reason, what would I keep? Or are there any records that I would want to keep? And thought about that, and so I came up with a list of 100 albums that I would keep if I were to need to sell everything else. And so this is a 4-part series of what 100 albums would I keep should I need to sell my collection. And hey, if you guys, you peeps out there, guys and gals, want to do this as well, hey, it's an interesting challenge because to really think about, which ones would you sell, which ones would you want to keep, and why would you want to keep them? So I also created some caveats for how I curated this final list of 100 records. So one of the things is many records I have, many albums, I have them both on vinyl and CD. So I have many duplications. So with this ultimate list, you may be wondering, well, why is this particular record, or why are these particular records not showing up in Richard's list? Well, chances are I also have it on CD. So there's really no reason for me to keep it on vinyl. If I do keep it on vinyl, then it's because of some connection I have with that record. Even though I might have a duplicate on CD, I just want the vinyl copy. And it may seem odd that I have records on this list that, well, why do you have this on, why are you wanting to keep this record? And that might be the case that it's because I don't have it on CD. And this would be particularly true of some 60s and 70s rock, in which I, have the vinyl release, but I don't have it on CD. So there may be a practical reason why I am keeping an item on the list, and there may be a nostalgic and emotional reason I'm keeping it on the list. Now also, while many, if probably not most of the records on my list, I may consider to be the best release, not only of that artist, but also the best representation of a particular genre or style. Not all of my selections are necessarily my favorites or the best of that artist. All right, I chose it because I want to keep it on vinyl, even if I do also have it on CD. Now there are some music that I'm not even considering for this list. All right, my car seat headrest records, I'm keeping everything. I'm not, so that's why car seat headrest is not showing up on this list. I'm just keeping everything. Same goes for Ryuichi Sakamoto. I'm keeping all my Ryuichi Sakamoto records, period, okay? That's why it's not showing up on the list. Frank Zappa is showing up on the list, all right, and not very many, because I have almost everything duplicated anyway on CD. And also all my anime soundtracks, I will probably want to keep those as well, so there are no anime soundtracks that are going to be showing up on here. Not because I don't want to keep them, I will just keep them regardless, and so they're not going to be, being culled from the list. All right, so this is part one. I'm going to go reasonably quick through 25 records and just, briefly talk about, why, I want to keep it. I'm going to start off with maybe some obvious ones. First one that I would want to keep is Beatles Revolver, and this particular is the mono reissue. This is my favorite Beatles album. I think it is overall superior to anything else that they've done. It's my, and it's, like I said, it's my favorite. So I'm going to keep the Beatles. It's a just fantastic album, the Revolver. And this is the British release, not the American release. And then a second Beatles album I would keep is Help. And this is a stereo release. Help is such a great album. There are so many great songs on here, from the title song to The Night Before. You've got to Hide Your Love Away, I Need You, Another Girl, You're Going to Lose That Girl, Ticket to Ride. I mean, Jesus, that's just side one. It's a fantastic, fantastic record. So my first two records that I would keep, it would be Revolver and Help, which means I would get rid of everything else of the Beatles that I have. And I don't have everything. I mean, I have a lot of Beatles on vinyl that I do not have on CD. So when it comes to Frank Zappa, as I said, I would willingly sell the bulk of my collection, because most of what I have duplicates on CD. And also, it's probably the one section of my collection that's probably worth the most cash. So again, if I need to dispose of my collection, that's going to be part of the collection that I would, dispose. But there are two records that I would keep. And the first one is One Size Fits All. This is, it's kind of a tie what my favorite Frank Zappa albums are. And this is definitely one of them. I think this is a brilliant album from start to finish. It is very cohesive, it's tight, it is just really, really incredible. I love One Size Fits All. And then the other one that I would keep is from the Mothers of Invention, Burnt Weenie Sandwich. I just have some very strong emotional connections with this record. I've had it since I was in junior high school. It is absolutely brilliant and fantastic music. It is so interesting and intriguing. And it is also music that you can both really pay attention to, or you can just simply veg out and have it playing. It is wonderful. And these are my two favorite Frank Zappa albums. So Burnt Weenie Sandwich is going to be among the records that I will want to keep. Got some noise going on outside because they're doing some blasting in the parking garage behind my building. All right, now David Bowie is someone that I have a lot of duplicates on CD, but there are a couple records that I would want to keep on vinyl. And first one is going to be Aladdin Sane. This is my favorite Bowie album. Again, a very deep, emotional, sentimental connection for me. I had this ever since it first came out. I think I was, 14? No, I was 13. This was released in excuse me, I would have been 15 in 1973 when this was released. So, but yeah, man, I still play this a lot. And in fact, when I did do the video about the 10 albums I play the most, this is, still in there as one that I play the most. The second David Bowie album that I would keep is this one, Diamond Dogs. I don't have a very good CD copy of it, for one thing. And it's just another one of the albums of the era that, I grew up with. I've had it since high school, and I just love the record. Everything else of my Bowie collection, I can dispose of because I've got it on CD. All right, the number 7 for this particular episode is a Nirvana album, and I have Nevermind, and I have I'm drawing a blank here now, In Utero on CD, but I also have the Super Deluxe records, releases of that, the 4 album and the 3 album release and all that. But the one I would keep is this, the Unplugged in New York. This is the Nirvana album I would want to keep. It is special, and it's just, I don't have it on CD, and I really enjoy listening to it. And so, yeah, I would keep Nirvana Unplugged. Now, I've got a fairly big collection of Bob Dylan, and I guess you could say these are 3 selections that I decided to keep, although one of them is not strictly Bob Dylan. But the first one is the Basement Tapes. And I don't have this on CD, and this is the MoFi release of it. This is such a great album, and sounds really good, and it's definitely one that I would want to keep. And then the other one that's not really a Bob Dylan album, although he's featured on it, is the one by the band, music from Big Pink. Another great record, and this would represent what I would want to keep. And then the third one for Bob Dylan, to kind of cover, because it's a great compilation, but to cover everything else, is this. While I have, this is the greatest hits, I guess you could call it Volume 1. And while, it does cover a lot of songs that I do have also on CD, so I don't need to keep the vinyl, it has Positively 4th Street on it, which is, there are very few ways that you can get that song, especially on an LP. And so that's why I would keep this one. All right, the 11th album that I would want to keep, and that would take care of representation for several artists, and that is this, Blind Faith. This is such an incredible supergroup album. It is, again, a near perfect album from start to finish. I love this record. I've loved it since it was released, which was, 1969, or was it 1970? Oh, well, it doesn't matter. 1969, yeah. But yes, this is such an amazing record. So Blind Faith, with Rick Bruck and Eric Clapton and Ginger Baker and Stevie Winwood. Just what a fantastic record. Now, one here, this would be up to number 12, and that is The Beat. I have this on CD, but Special Beat Service, man, this is such an excellent record. It really, really is. And it's one that I would say is, it kind of is seasonally nostalgic. Every spring I play this record a lot because it just has that kind of musical buoyancy that really is suitable for, the end of winter and the onset of spring. and everything. It just has that feel about it. I love this record. So yeah, English Beat, or The Beat, Special Beat Service. Now for the Clash is up next, and I have a lot of Clash that's on CD. I have also a major little, well, not a major, but it's like a box set that has all the big tunes from their entire catalog. That would include some of these. For a while, I was thinking that London Calling would be the one that I would keep, but you know, a lot of those songs are on that compilation that I have, and this is the one that I would want to keep on vinyl. Black Market Clash. Yeah, really excellent record. And yeah, it's just, again, there's a kind of even more emotional connection for me to this record than with London Calling. I had this on a cassette tape, and on a couple cross-country trips that I made, you know, driving from Arizona to Michigan and then to Michigan to Arizona, you know, I had that tape playing in my boombox in my old 1956 Ford F-150 pickup, or maybe it was an F-100, can't remember. But yeah, what a road trip. All right, 2 records. I would keep 2 records from the Pretenders. And the first one is their newest one, Hate for Sale. This is such a strong album, a real return to form of the original material, and then, or the original style, I should say. And then the second Pretenders album that I would keep is the debut, Pretenders. Everything else in between, except for some of the newer stuff, you know, I have on CD. You know, even Learning to Crawl. I mean, for a while I thought about having Learning to Crawl in this list, but then I thought, no, you know what? Yeah, this one, the debut, and Hate for Sale, you know, I've got the others on CD. You know, I'll be taken care of with that. All right, then we're up to number 16, and Funhouse by the Stooges. I've got a lot of other Iggy Pop that's on CD, so again, that's pretty much covered. This is the one that I would want to keep on vinyl. Such an amazing, amazing record. I mean, I especially love the song TVI. It's just such an incredible song. So yeah, the Stooges. Then I have on here, let's see, we're talking about number 17, and it's this record here, Ugly Casanova. Sharpen Your Teeth is the name of the record. So I have a video about this. This is a project of members of the band. Thought I would remember, but now I'm not sure. I'm guessing Modest Mouse, it might be. But anyway, this is such, you know, both, you know, artistically, lyrically, and musically, such an amazing album. It really is. It is, and I have it on CD, but I really want to keep it on vinyl. It is just, I never get tired of listening to it and listening to the way the songs are presented. It's just really it's kind of a dark album in many respects. But yeah, I really love this. Ugly Casanova, the album Sharpen Your Teeth. Yeah, this one goes way back to like junior high school, because yeah, this is 1971. And yeah, I have it on CD. But I don't like the way on the CD that there's such a long gap between the individual tracks. But this is the record, Ellis Cooper, Killer. I mean, this was, you know, an album of my life, an album of my youth. Such an amazing record. Again, from start to finish, great songs. Yeah, it's an album of my youth. And then the next one here, what are we up to? Number 19. I have several albums of this band that are on vinyl that I do not have on CD, but nonetheless, I'm only keeping one, and that's this one from Talking Heads, Remain in Light. Again, it's my favorite album. I think it's their best album. I really like Little Creatures, but I have it on CD, and it sounds really good on CD. So yeah, Remain in Light. I mean, the songs, Cross-Eyed and Painless, The Great Curve. I mean, side one, with, Born Under Punches. I mean, it's just so amazing. And then, of course, one of my favorite songs on here is, Listening Wind. Yeah, Listening Wind. So, just an amazing record all the way around. So, yeah, Remain in Light. Okay, we are up to number 20, and we're at 21 minutes, so I better get kind of a move on. Yeah, this is the B-52s album that I would keep. I have the other material, on CD, but this is also a great sounding, the Mobile Fidelity. Not an original master source here with this one, but nonetheless, it's really, really good. Sounds great. I love this record from start to finish. And it's, some of the other records, there's a couple weak songs, but to me, this is it's just solid all the way through. And, Topaz and, just the hits that were on there, but some of the deeper cuts like Topaz or Channel Z and Bushfire, great songs. So yeah, Cosmic Thing by the B-52s. Then another record that I would keep would be this one by Sonic Youth, Daydream Nation. I know Goo is probably my favorite, but I have that on CD. And this one I don't have on CD, so that's kind of why I picked this one. Daydream Nation is such an amazing one. Total trash. I love that song. Yeah. Daydream Nation by Sonic Youth. Then, got a jazz album. And it's classic. Time Out, Dave Brubeck. Such an amazing record. Absolutely fantastic. Definitely a keeper, in my collection, should I need to get rid of, everything else. And then there's one Devo album that I think is just absolutely brilliant and I would want to keep. And that's New Traditionalists. This is my favorite Devo album. It's a little, it's dark and it's kind of angry in its tone. But man, I really, really like New Traditionalists. I kind of think it's one that gets a little poo-pooed at times by people who like maybe some of the other songs, or other albums, I should say. But no, this is my favorite one, all the way through, start to finish. There's not a dull song, in my opinion, on that record. And then a punk record that they only had one released, and that's Xray Specs, Germ-Free Adolescence. Oh my gosh, what a record. I would definitely be keeping this in my collection if I had to get rid of everything else. And then the last record for this particular installment is a blast from the 70s, and that's Robin Trower, Bridge of Sighs. Just total amazing record. It's definitely got known as, or a reputation of being a total stoner album. when I was in high school. This was, when was this released? 1974. Yeah. So I am, what am I, 16 years old when this was released. So yeah, junior in high school. Great record. Never saw Robin Trower, but this is what I would want to keep. So there you go. Those are my first 25 albums of the 100 albums that I would want to keep if I needed to get rid of my entire collection for whatever reason. Leave a comment, excuse me, a comment in the Down Under. Remember, there are 3 more, there's a total of 4 episodes, so there are 3 more episodes coming up in which I'll be, listing some other records, but hey, maybe some of you will start to be thinking about, yeah, what would I do if, some of you I know got like 5,000, 6,000 or more records in your collection. What if you had to really unload your collection, and you whittle it down to 100 that you would want to keep? Which ones would they be? Think about it. A little thought exercise. You can find me on Instagram as NewsDude76. That's NEWZDUDE76. I have a Facebook page called Calvin Wazoo, so you can find me there. Excuse me. As I say, leave a comment in the Down Under. Hit the like button. It does help with distribution of the video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I mean, hey, why not? And also remember to pray for the people inside your head, for they won't be there when you're dead.